Today I'm going to be showing you an updated Bez build for the Pyromancer after recent changes and nerfs have been made to the game. Now really quickly I just want to apologize to my subscribers for getting this and the Technomancer up a little bit late. Just been very busy. Resident Evil came out a day earlier than I thought it would, so I had to start that immediately. But I'll jump right into the build and have this and the Technomancer up for you. So first things first, Morning Winds has been nerfed, but you very well still can run the Morning Winds combo. The thing is with this build, you have very little time in between skill uses, and I think ideally it's better to play from far away. So I don't run the Morning Winds personally, I run this, but you rarely ever shoot it. It's also good until you get to a max point of having all your cooldowns and all your gear aligned. Once everything is done, you'll almost never be firing a shot. But like occasionally when you don't have any cooldown, when you don't have any abilities to use, then you can fire a quick shot in on a high damaged elite that wasn't instantly melted. So it's a lot better when you're playing with average players, with like people that just run TP 15 golds all day long, and then where every enemy elite spawns in and instantly melts them because you're putting 80 and 75, 155 percent debuff on them. But I'll get into that in a moment. It is really useful to apply weakness. It saved me a lot of times when I had a 1v1 warlord chasing me down that wasn't instantly killed. Applying weakness onto him, plus with all my skills, I'm able to stay alive. So I do really like that weakness. Plus it fits with the debuff build, because it's just one more thing that you're able to debuff. You're making him weak, the most problemed enemy that you can shoot, and any enemies near him. So it's really good. Then we have the Helmet of the Akari, and we're going to be running the increased width of the firewall. We'll be taking 2 thermal bombs. I'll get into why in a moment if you're not familiar with how it stacks. Then we're going to be taking double fun and an additional heat wave. And we gotta take the anomaly echo, so we'll take that, and we'll take branded. Gotta take branded. Then we have blacksmith to help us stay alive, and we have ride the wave for an additional heat wave. By the way, your 2 epics should definitely be anomaly, cooldown, and status. That is the god roll. With this build, you can actually keep elites, you can keep alphas burning for 13 seconds, and then after that, if you haven't already hit your overheat, which you would have, once you turn them to ash, they'll stay ashed for 13 seconds. So it's really beast. But we're going to take the overheat reduced cooldown by 50%, and we're also going to be taking Untamed Power as our last mod, just because like this instantly kills all the groups, all the little mobs that might gang up around us while we're trying to do other things. So Untamed Power is really good. For our skills, obviously we're going to be running Heat Wave, Overheat, and Thermal Bomb. Now the class skill tree is going to change a little bit depending on your playstyle. The first 13 do not matter. It's a definite lock. So we're going to be taking Anomaly Power, Cooldown, Anomaly Power, extra damage against marked enemies, Anomaly Power, increased Anomaly Power, Skill Leech, Anomaly Power, increased damage, reduced cooldown, and more increased damage. Now there's a couple of ways you can play this. The less fun way to play is in solo play, which you would just be taking all the marked damages, the cooldown, and the cooldown. But for team play, what you really want to do to have like a fully debuff Pyro, what you want is you want Extinction, the health, which just because, but you want to get up to Incinerate, because we're constantly burning enemies and launching overheat. So everything that doesn't instantly die from a burn, like alphas, mostly alphas, will get ashed for 13 seconds. And when you burn elites right off the bat, you're still ashing them for a couple of seconds. So It is really nice. And obviously, we're going to be taking more anomaly power and cooldown, and we're going to be taking health and more cooldown on our heat wave. Now, you don't have to take the more cooldown on your heat wave. I just really like burning everything. Like with the 3 heat waves, the reduced cooldown on the heat waves on the ash, you're just going to be burning and turning everything to ash on the board. And then for your elites, you just pop 2 thermal bombs, 3 heat waves at them, and then your teammates can instantly kill them. So I really like this build because it really is a true debuff build. Anything that wasn't instantly killed after you used all your abilities, then you can pop one shot from your rifle into them, making them weaker, and any enemies around them weaker, as well as inflicting 200k plus damage. I don't see the extra need of damage on the overheat or marked enemies. You don't need the burn to last longer because you're constantly inflicting overheat. Phoenix, I just don't use Phoenix. Like, the amount of times you're popping overheat with this build, just play smart, and you're always getting life back from your overheat and your heat waves, so it's very easy to stay alive. I have no problem. I occasionally get 1 down, but I almost never get 2 downs, so I have no reason to suggest running Phoenix. And you don't need the increased anomaly power, especially when you have 3 heat waves with reduced cooldown. Let me show you the cooldowns once more with this build. It is a 6.7 second time on the heat wave, 4.6 on the overheat, and 6 seconds on the thermal bomb. Which is why I said once you get to the optimal build, you're going to have very little time to use the sniper rifle. Sniper rifle is more for when you're playing with average players that don't instantly melt elites, or before you get your cooldown times maxed. But in any case, this is what I think is the best build currently for the Pyromancer. Obviously, if you're going and playing single play, you can switch up your class tree. The nice thing about it is only really one mod would you swap out if you were playing in solo play. And ideally what you would want is one piece of gear with these attributes, and you would want Blacksmith as the lock perk, or any one where you can actually swap out a secondary perk and put in the extra damage on overheat. And if you're playing on solo play, then you would pretty much just overheat the board out. Just keep spamming overheat, strategically take out elites, and yeah, you can easily, I can run through T15s solo with this build, just swapping in the extra damage on the overheat and swapping the class tree for a little bit extra damage on marked targets. And that is currently the best build available for the Pyromancer. I hope that helps.